Can education solve the world's biggest challenges like poverty, climate change, inequality, and hunger? At first, these problems may seem unrelated to what happens inside a classroom. But the United Nations believes that education is one of the most powerful tools for creating a better future. Today, we'll explore how the Sustainable Development Goals align with educational attainment targets and why every educator has a role to play in achieving them. Imagine a classroom where a teacher is not only teaching subjects but also helping students understand how they can protect the planet, reduce inequality, and build a better future. That is exactly what the Sustainable Development Goals are about. They are not just global targets for governments, they are learning opportunities for every child. The Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the SDGs, were adopted by the United Nations in September 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. 17 goals were created, and all member countries agreed to work together to achieve them by the year 2030. The vision was simple: to create a world where no one is left behind. These goals were developed to address some of the world's greatest challenges. Millions of people around the world still live in poverty, struggling to meet their basic needs. Hunger continues to affect millions, preventing children and families from living healthy, productive lives. Climate change is threatening our planet through rising temperatures, extreme weather, and environmental damage. Millions of children still do not have access to quality education, limiting their opportunities and future potential. Gender inequality continues to deny many girls and women equal access to education, employment, and leadership opportunities. Social injustice prevents many individuals and communities from receiving fairness, equal rights, and equal opportunities. Environmental degradation, including pollution, deforestation, and the loss of biodiversity, is putting our planet at serious risk. The lack of peace caused by conflict and violence forces millions of people to live in fear and prevents communities from thriving. Inequality continues to widen the gap between people, limiting access to healthcare, education, employment, and a better quality of life. Instead of solving each issue separately, the United Nations created one shared roadmap, a roadmap where every goal is connected. But why did the United Nations place such a strong focus on education? Because education is one of the few tools that can influence every sustainable development goal. Education develops critical thinking. It teaches empathy. It encourages responsible decision-making and helps students become informed citizens who can solve real-world problems. Today's students will become tomorrow's leaders, scientists, teachers, engineers, policymakers, and parents. The values they learn today will shape the world they create tomorrow. This is why educational attainment is no longer measured only by examination scores. Modern education aims to develop knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. Students are expected to become problem solvers, responsible digital citizens, environmental stewards, effective communicators, and respectful members of society. These competencies directly support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. As educators, we don't need expensive resources to contribute. Small, consistent actions can have a lasting impact. We can encourage students to think critically by asking meaningful questions. We can teach environmental responsibility through simple classroom practices. We can create inclusive classrooms where every learner feels valued. We can connect our lessons to real-life challenges and guide students to use technology and artificial intelligence ethically and responsibly. These everyday practices help shape not only better learners but also better citizens. The Sustainable Development Goals remind us that education is about much more than academic success. Every lesson we teach has the power to shape future generations who care about people, communities, and the planet. When education is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, we are not simply preparing students for examinations. We are preparing them to solve the challenges of the future. Because when we educate, we empower. And when we empower, we transform the world.